why not share my journey? Why not push that narrative? Why not show people? Exactly. Yeah. Because really that's the other side of it. Like when we talk about
mostly get to experience the results of who you are. So how has Jacklynne influenced, and we'll talk about it after, how, and also we'll talk about how publicly you've been about all those discoveries and everything, but how has Jacklynne influenced you really coming to your own regarding your gender identity and who you are?
Well, she saved my life, like flat out. Even as recent as almost a year ago now, there was a moment where I was considering suicide again because I was just so unhappy because I didn't realize that when I wasn't Jacklynne, I was putting on a mask for something else. Like it's that mask with a C. And as much as I tried to move beyond it and not be that, there was also still a part of me who was like, but I can be at times. And I didn't know how to reconcile that with myself. And Jacklynne kind of became this wonderful outlet to really explore and challenge and push those boundaries as far as like, you know, like I'm non-binary and I identify as gender fluid. And the thing about that is like the one side of gender fluidity is it's like more borderline trans in that it's how you feel at times is pushed so far and so far to an extreme that it challenges your thoughts on the other extreme. And there are times that I enjoy being more boy coded, and then there are times that I enjoy being more female coded. And then 90% of the time I want to be somewhere in the more like middle, which gives you that awkward boner moment of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. And it really, truly has saved my life because it's actually been able, like it pushed me into therapy, which I really appreciate. And for anyone out there, please go to therapy. Like, even if you don't think you need it, it's just such a wonderful thing because it pulls the stuff out of you that you don't expect you need to deal with. And I'm very fortunate that I have an incredible collective of people around me who've encouraged that and allowed me to grow in a way that with some other friends and past people I've had in my life, I would never have had that opportunity, which is incredible. So like that's, again, another side of where Jacklynne has really saved my life is she brought me into a world and introduced me to a group of people that are now the closest things to family I've ever had in my life.
And, well, A, thank you for sharing that. No, for real. Thank you for sharing it. And two, how did then the moment, because now I do understand that from what you're saying, the moment you started to do drag, you started really to have these reflections about yourself. So how then all these years down the line, did you decide to be so public and really voice that journey? Like, why did you decide to really go on a public platform to talk about it?
Well, for me, it's one of the things like I hate Facebook. I really, truly hate it because I find that especially how I was using it before was so toxic because really what it was becoming was a sounding board and a void for just angry and negative thoughts. Nobody was really like talking about the good things or the positive things. And especially for me, it was so much of a, meh, this is what just happened to me. Find other people who relate to this and agree with me, which isn't good because if you're not pushed out of those thoughts and thought patterns, you can't really look at yourself and go like, wait a second, there's also some really good things that happened to me. And so I've also been really public with my journey of mental health because it was one of those things that I used to work at Woody's and it was something that I got challenged with and I had to really deal with as far as, you know, checking my mental state and where I'm at because realizing what was making me unhappy, what was not making me feel good about myself, what was I doing or putting myself in positions that, especially with self-reflection and looking back, that were completely and utterly toxic for me. And then from there, it was one of those moments where I was like, well, here's this platform now that I have and I've established for whatever reasons. Why not, in the smallest capacity I could possibly do, actually do something about it? So instead of doing like, you know, the bell talk hashtag, everybody forwards that email, why not share my journey? Why not push that narrative? Why not show people? Exactly. Because really that's the other side of it. Like when we talk about gender issues and when we talk about mental health, when we talk about drag, like there is so much more beyond these particular moments that everybody decides to sensationalize. So for me, it was this thing of here's this platform where instead of soundboarding negativity, but also like I'm shady cunt, so I do that often too. But like more than anything, when I really, really want to use it and get that thing forward, I can push a narrative of like please, like, call Kids Helpline. Like, know that there's someone else going through the same thing. If, even in the most selfish of ways, if one person, I can prevent them from having some of the same journeys that I had as me struggling through all of this, I'd be the most content person in the world.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we are the Yohomo Boys. Make sure you subscribe below for more videos and follow us on all the channels at We Are Yohomo.
Love you!